In a quiet valley where the days drifted like clouds and the nights hummed softly with crickets, there lay a small village wrapped in the arms of green hills. From above, the village looked like a handful of tiny stars scattered across the earth. Cottages with warm windows, gardens brushed with color, and narrow paths that curled between them like silver threads. Beyond the last house, where the cobbled road melted into grass, stood the edge of an ancient forest. The villagers called it the Whispering Wood, because when the wind passed through its leaves, it sounded like voices telling old stories. At the border of this forest lived a young girl named Elara and her mother. Their cottage was small but full of gentle things: the scent of drying herbs, the creak of wicker baskets, and sunlight that fell through the window like honey. Elara's mother spun wool for a living. Her hands were quick and steady, and her laughter filled the house like music. Though their life was simple, Elara felt it was rich in ways that could not be counted. In the warmth of firelight, the smell of bread cooling on the sill, and the comfort of knowing the forest was near. Each morning, as the mist lifted from the meadows, Elara carried a wooden bucket down to the stream that ran through the trees. She liked to watch the water twist and sparkle, carrying tiny petals downstream like drifting wishes. Sometimes she would pause, close her eyes, and listen to the heartbeat of the forest. The rustle of ferns, the low hum of bees, the distant call of a dove. She loved the forest as if it were alive, and in its own quiet way, it loved her back. The trees seemed to lean closer when she walked beneath them. The streams ran clearer where her feet had passed. Even the smallest creatures, rabbits, birds, and foxes, watched her without fear. Elara never noticed how special this was. To her, kindness was as natural as breathing. She shared what she had, smiled easily, and found joy in helping, gathering herbs for the sick, mending the wings of a broken bird, or simply sitting beside her mother as she worked, humming softly to the rhythm of the spinning wheel. Seasons passed gently: spring with its soft rains, summer with its golden light, autumn with its falling leaves, and winter with its quiet frost. Elara grew from a small child into a graceful girl, and though her hands were often calloused from work, her heart remained as pure as sunlight through glass. One morning, after a night of heavy rain, Elara walked farther into the forest than usual. The air smelled fresh and green, as if the earth had just been washed clean. The ground glistened with dew, and the light fell through the trees in soft beams that looked almost solid, like paths of gold leading deeper into the woods. She followed one such path until she came to a place she had never seen before, a hidden glade where wildflowers bloomed in every color. At the center of it lay a pool so clear it mirrored the sky. Ripples moved slowly across the surface, though no wind stirred the leaves. Elara knelt to drink, and as she did, she noticed something strange. A faint shimmer deep within the water, like moonlight caught beneath the surface. It flickered once, then again, until the whole pool seemed to glow with a pale, trembling light. She leaned closer. The water parted, and from its depths rose a tiny, glowing figure. It was no larger than a bird, but its light was soft and beautiful, as if made of all the colors of dawn. It hovered above the pool, wings trembling like the petals of a flower. Around it, droplets of water hung in the air, sparkling like crystals. Elara could feel a warmth spreading through her chest, not from the sun, but from something gentle and alive. The quiet wonder of the forest itself. The little being, a fairy, tried to rise higher, but her wings faltered. she drifted downward and landed on a rock beside the pool, her glow dimming. Elara saw that one of the fairy's wings was torn. Without a thought, the girl reached into her basket and pulled out a strip of soft cloth. She dipped it into the water and carefully cleaned the fairy's fragile form. Then she placed the fairy in the curve of a leaf and covered her with the edge of her shawl, keeping her warm. For a long while, nothing moved. The air grew still, the trees silent. Then, slowly, the fairy stirred. Her light brightened, first faintly, then stronger, until it filled the glade with soft gold. Tiny sparkles lifted from her wings and floated upward like fireflies. She rose from the leaf and hovered before Elara's face. Though no words were spoken, Elara felt something in her heart. A soundless voice that seemed to say, "Thank you," not with words, but with warmth. The fairy lifted one small hand and touched the air above Elara's head. A ring of light appeared, then melted into a soft breeze that smelled of wildflowers. And then, as quietly as she had come, the fairy vanished, leaving only the faint glow of her magic in the air. Elara returned home, thinking it had all been a dream. But the next morning, something unusual happened. The withered herbs in her garden had grown tall overnight. The thyme and chamomile had bloomed, their colors richer than ever. When she carried bread to an old woman in the village, the woman's aching hands seemed to ease at her touch. And everywhere Elara went, small wonders followed. A wilting rose lifted its head again after she passed. A wounded sparrow took flight the next day. The air around her always smelled faintly of lavender and rain. The villagers began to notice. They whispered about the girl, who seemed to bring life wherever she went. Some called her blessed. Others said she carried luck in her smile. But Elara never thought much of it. She continued to help, to give, to care, because that was simply who she was. One summer, the rains did not come. The river shrank into a narrow stream. The fields turned dry and pale, and the wells began to empty. The villagers grew anxious. Without water, the crops would fail, and hunger would follow. Elara's mother fell ill that same month, her strength fading with the heat. Elara cared for her day and night, fetching the last drops of water she could find, fanning her with leaves, whispering soft songs to help her sleep. One evening, when the sun had burned low and red behind the hills, Elara stood at the doorway of her cottage and looked toward the forest. The trees shimmered in the distance, their tops glowing faintly in the fading light. Something deep within her stirred, a memory of golden wings and silver light. Without hesitation, she took her pail and walked toward the woods. The path was dry and cracked beneath her feet, and the air smelled of dust. But when she reached the glade, the pool was still there, shining faintly under the first stars. The surface was calm, but deep inside, a faint glow trembled, like the heartbeat of the forest. Elara knelt beside the pool. She thought of her mother, of the thirsty fields, of the children whose laughter had grown quiet. Her heart ached with love and worry. Slowly, she dipped her pail into the water. When she lifted it, the liquid shimmered, pale silver, cool as moonlight. She carried it carefully back through the forest, her steps guided by the faint glow from the pail. At home, she poured the water into the ground near her mother's window, where the earth was dry and cracked. The moment the last drop touched the soil, a soft breeze rose from nowhere. Clouds gathered above, dark and full. A distant rumble echoed through the hills. Then, rain. Gentle, steady rain. It fell all night, washing the dust from rooftops, filling the wells and soaking the earth. The next morning, The air smelled of life again. The villagers danced in the streets, lifting their faces to the sky, laughing and crying all at once. Elara's mother awoke, her strength returning. Flowers bloomed again along the forest edge, and the river sang as it filled its banks. Time passed softly after that. Elara grew older, her hair long and dark like river water. She became known throughout the valley as the girl who brought peace wherever she went. Not because of magic, though some still whispered of it, but because her kindness had become a light others followed. When people quarreled, she was the one who helped them forgive. When someone was lonely, she was the one who listened. When something was broken, a heart, a toy, a hope, she found a way to mend it. And though she sometimes returned to the forest glade, the fairy did not appear again. Only once, many years later, when the air was full of spring rain and new blossoms, did she see it. A faint shimmer above the pool, a dance of light that made her heart flutter like a child's again. She understood then what the fairy's gift had truly been. It was not magic that could summon rain or heal with touch. It was the magic that lives in kindness, the quiet power to bring warmth where there is cold, peace where there is pain, light where there is sorrow. That gift had not been given to her alone. It had been awakened, something that had always been inside her heart. The fairy had only helped her see it. As the years went by, Elara became the heart of her village. Children grew up hearing stories of the gentle girl who once brought rain to the valley. They left flowers by her garden gate, hoping some of her light might bless their days. And when Elara herself grew old, her hair silver like moonlight, she often sat by her window and watched the forest. The trees still swayed, the river still whispered, and sometimes, when the wind was just right, she heard the faint hum of wings. When she finally drifted into sleep one soft spring night, the villagers said the air glowed faintly for days afterward. Dewdrops shimmered brighter, flowers opened earlier, and the forest seemed to sing. They knew then that the fairy's gift, Elara's kindness, had not ended. It had simply changed form, spreading like light through all the hearts she had touched. And even now, if you walk deep into a quiet forest and listen carefully, you might hear the whisper of her story, the sound of a gentle breeze, a ripple of water, or the brush of wings. They say the forest remembers her, the girl whose kindness became magic. And somewhere in every kind heart that gives without asking, the fairy's gift lives on, glowing softly, quietly, forever. The end.